In the distant reaches of the galaxy, the Xaltraxians, known for their ruthless efficiency and unparalleled combat prowess, prepared for their latest conquest. The bridge of the Xaltraxian warship, Dominator, buzzed with activity. Commander Zorath, a towering figure with reptilian features, oversaw the preparations with cold, calculated precision. "Prepare for hyperjump," Zorath commanded, his voice echoing through the chamber. "Set coordinates for the Sol system. We will crush this primitive species swiftly." Lieutenant Xarn, Zorath's second-in-command, nodded sharply. "Coordinates set, Commander. Engaging hyperjump." The stars blurred into streaks of light as the Dominator surged forward. The Xaltraxians, having conquered countless systems, anticipated another effortless victory. However, whispers among the crew hinted at an unexpected challenge. "Have you heard the rumors?" one soldier murmured to another. "The humans have a warrior, Sergeant Alex Mercer. They say he's unstoppable." "Bah, legends and myths," the other soldier scoffed. "No human can stand against the might of the Xaltraxian Empire." Meanwhile, on Earth, Sergeant Alex Mercer stood on a ridge overlooking a devastated cityscape. His combat armor, scarred from countless battles, glinted in the dying sunlight. Beside him, his closest ally, Lieutenant Sarah Connor, surveyed the destruction with a mix of anger and determination. "Hard to believe this is home now," Sarah muttered, kicking a piece of rubble. "We need a miracle to turn this around." Alex's eyes narrowed. "We don't need miracles, Sarah. We need strategy and guts. The Xaltraxians think we're easy prey. They're in for a rude awakening." Back on the Dominator, Zorath received a transmission from High Command. The holographic figure of Supreme Leader Saltron appeared, his visage imposing and stern. "Commander Zorath, you are tasked with eliminating this human resistance," Saltron declared. "Show no mercy. The humans must learn the price of defiance." Zorath saluted crisply. "As you command, Supreme Leader." "The humans will be eradicated." The Dominator emerged from hyperspace, the planet Earth looming large in its viewports. Zorath gazed at the blue-green orb, a predatory gleam in his eyes. "Deploy the landing craft," he ordered. "Begin the invasion. We will crush their spirit before they even realize what hit them." As these Xaltraxian landing crafts descended through Earth's atmosphere, alarms blared across human military installations. In a command bunker deep underground, General Carter, a grizzled veteran, issued rapid-fire orders. "All units, prepare for immediate engagement. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill." In the chaos, Alex and Sarah mobilized their team, a diverse group of soldiers and scientists united by a single purpose: to defend Earth at all costs. They piled into an armored transport, the rumble of engines blending with the distant thunder of explosions. Sarah gripped the handrail, glancing at Alex. "You really think we can do this?" Alex met her gaze, his expression steely. "We faced worse. Remember what I always say, fear is the mind killer." Sarah nodded, determination hardening her features. "Let's show these aliens what humans are made of." As they sped toward the front lines, the sky above filled with the ominous silhouettes of Xaltraxian war machines. The battle for Earth had begun, and both sides prepared to unleash their fury. The armored transport rattled through the war-torn streets of what was once a thriving metropolis. Inside, Sergeant Alex Mercer briefed his team, their faces illuminated by the flickering lights of their combat gear. "Listen up," everyone, Alex began, his voice steady and commanding. "These Xaltraxians are hitting us hard, but we're not going down without a fight. We need to regroup with the rest of the resistance at Grid Point Echo. That's where we'll make our stand." Lieutenant Sarah Connor checked her weapon, her eyes reflecting a mix of resolve and urgency. "Intel says these Xaltraxians are deploying their ground troops in waves. They're underestimating us, thinking we're disorganized." Alex nodded. "Good. Let them think that. It'll make our counterattack that much more effective." Private Jenkins, the youngest member of the team, fidgeted nervously. "Sergeant, what if those stories about their elite warriors are true? I heard they're practically invincible." Alex glanced at Jenkins, his expression softening for a moment. "Private, there's no such thing as invincible. Every enemy has a weakness. We just have to find it." The transport came to a sudden halt, and the rear door dropped open with a metallic clang. The team filed out, weapons at the ready, scanning the surrounding ruins for any signs of movement. "Echo, this is Alpha Team. We're approaching your position, Sarah spoke into her comms, her voice a low whisper. Any hostiles in the vicinity? A crackling response came through. Alpha Team, this is Echo. We've got a few scouts patrolling the area. Keep your heads down and move fast. Alex motioned for his team to advance, his senses on high alert. The air was thick with tension, the distant sounds of battle creating an ominous backdrop. As they moved through the shattered remains of a once bustling city center, they encountered a group of civilians huddled in a makeshift shelter. A woman, clutching a small child, looked up at Alex with tear-filled eyes. Please help us, she pleaded. The aliens. They took my husband. We don't know where they're taking people. Alex knelt beside her, his voice gentle. We're going to stop them, I promise. But you need to stay hidden and keep quiet. We'll come back for you once it's safe. The woman nodded, tears streaming down her face. Thank you. Please be careful. As the team continued their trek, Sarah fell into step beside Alex. We can't keep this up forever. We need a real plan to hit them where it hurts. Alex's jaw tightened. We're working on it. I've got a contact who might have some intel on their command structure. If we can take out their leadership, we might just stand a chance. Suddenly, a burst of laser fire erupted from a nearby building. The team dove for cover as Xaltraxian soldiers emerged, their weapons blazing. Ambush, Alex shouted, returning fire. Take cover and return fire. The air filled with the deafening sounds of battle. Alex and his team fought with a ferocity that surprised even the Xaltraxian soldiers. They'd trained for this, and their determination was palpable. Sarah took out 2 Xaltraxians with precise shots, her face a mask of concentration. These guys aren't so tough, she muttered, ducking behind a crumbling wall. Alex nodded, reloading his weapon. Just keep pushing. We can't let them pin us down. Private Jenkins, finding his confidence, managed to flank a Xaltraxian soldier, taking him out with a burst of fire. Got one, he exclaimed, a mix of relief and exhilaration in his voice. Nice shot, Jenkins, Sarah called out. Keep it up. As the battle raged on, Alex spotted an opening. Sarah, Jenkins, on me. We're taking the fight to them. They charged forward, using the ruins as cover, their movements coordinated and precise. The Xaltraxians, caught off guard by the humans' tenacity, began to fall back. Alex could see the fear in their eyes now. They were not expecting this level of resistance. The legendary Xaltraxian warriors, once thought invincible, were starting to realize that these humans were a force to be reckoned with. We've got them on the run, Alex shouted, his voice carrying a note of triumph. Push them back. The Xaltraxians retreated, their once unshakable confidence now replaced with a growing sense of dread. Alex and his team pressed on, their resolve unbreakable. They knew the fight was far from over, but they'd made their mark. As the dust settled and the sounds of battle faded, Alex took a moment to catch his breath. This is just the beginning, he said, his voice steady. We've shown them we're not afraid. Now we show them we can win. The sun began to set, casting long shadows over the ruined cityscape. Alex and his team regrouped at a makeshift command post set up in the shell of an old skyscraper. The atmosphere was tense but charged with a newfound sense of hope. Status report, Alex commanded, his voice cutting through the low murmur of activity. Sarah, still catching her breath, glanced at the team's makeshift map spread across a dusty table. We've pushed them back for now, but they'll regroup. We need to keep up the pressure. Private Jenkins, adrenaline still pumping, wiped sweat from his brow. I can't believe it. We actually made them retreat. Alex nodded, his eyes scanning the horizon. They weren't expecting us to fight back like this. We need to keep them on their heels. Jenkins, what's the status of our supplies? Jenkins frowned, checking his datapad. We're running low on ammo and medical supplies. If we don't resupply soon, we're going to be in serious trouble. Before Alex could respond, the radio crackled to life. Alpha Team, this is Bravo Team. We've got a situation. Recon mission uncovered a Xaltraxian patrol heading your way. They're bringing heavy artillery. Sarah exchanged a grim look with Alex. Heavy artillery? They're not messing around. All right, Alex said, his voice firm. We need to intercept that patrol before they reach the city. Bravo Team, can you provide coordinates? A moment of static, Then sending coordinates now. Be advised, they've got drones patrolling the area. It's going to be tough to get close without being spotted. Alex turned to his team. You heard them. Gear up. We're moving out. The team swiftly gathered their equipment and headed out, moving through the ruins with practiced stealth. The city's eerie silence was broken only by the distant sounds of explosions and the occasional drone passing overhead. Sarah led the way, her keen eyes scanning for any signs of movement. This place is a maze. We need to be careful. Alex nodded, signaling for the team to halt as they reached the edge of a large plaza. Hold up. Drones. 2 Xaltraxian drones hovered above, their sensors sweeping the area. Alex and his team ducked behind cover, holding their breath as the drones passed by, unaware of their presence. We're clear, Alex whispered. Move out. They continued their approach, the coordinates leading them to an abandoned industrial complex on the city's outskirts. The sound of Xaltraxian machinery grew louder, accompanied by guttural alien voices. Sarah peered through binoculars. There they are. Looks like they're setting up a forward base. We've got to take them out before they get established. Alex nodded. We'll split into 2 teams. Sarah, take Jenkins and flank them from the west. I'll take the rest and hit them head on. Wait for my signal. Sarah grinned, her eyes alight with determination. Roger that. Let's give them hell. As Sarah and Jenkins moved into position, Alex led the rest of the team through the rubble, getting as close as possible without being detected. He spotted a cluster of Xaltraxian soldiers near a large piece of artillery. All right, on my mark, Alex whispered. 3, 2, 1. Alex threw a grenade, the explosion rocking the area and sending the Xaltraxians into disarray. At the same moment, Sarah and Jenkins opened fire from the west, catching the aliens in a deadly crossfire. The Xaltraxians, caught off guard, scrambled to return fire. Alex's team moved with precision, taking advantage of the chaos. Alex himself took down several Xaltraxians with well-placed shots, his focus unbreakable. Keep pushing, he shouted, his voice cutting through the din of battle. Don't let them regroup. Sarah's voice crackled over the comms. We've got their attention. They're pulling back. As the last of the Xaltraxian soldiers fell, the battlefield fell silent. Alex's team regrouped, checking for casualties. Despite a few injuries, they were all still standing. We did it, Jenkins said, disbelief and pride mingling in his voice. We actually did it. Alex clapped him on the shoulder. This is just the start. We've shown them what we're capable of. Now we need to keep the momentum going. Sarah joined them, a triumphant smile on her face. They won't forget this day. We've put fear into them, Alex. Real fear. Alex nodded, his expression resolute. Good, because we're not stopping until they're driven out of our system. Let's move out. We've got a war to win. The morning sun cast a pale light over the devastated cityscape as Alex and his team made their way back to their makeshift command post. The air was heavy with the smell of smoke and scorched earth, but the team was buoyed by their recent victory. Alex gathered his team around a rough map spread across a table. All right, listen up. We've got intel on a Xaltraxian research facility hidden in the ruins of the old city. Our mission is to infiltrate and gather any information that might give us an edge. Sarah raised an eyebrow. A research facility? What could they be hiding that's so important? Tech, Alex replied, his eyes narrowing. Weapons, defenses, strategies, anything we can use against them. Jenkins shifted uneasily. Do we know what kind of resistance to expect? Alex shook his head. Intel is sparse, but we can assume it's heavily guarded. We'll go in under the radar, gather what we can, and get out before they even know we're there. The team geared up and headed out, moving through the deserted streets with practiced caution. As they approached the coordinates, the landscape changed from bombed-out buildings to the remnants of ancient architecture, a stark reminder of a long-lost civilization. Sarah paused, her eyes scanning the intricate carvings on a nearby structure. This place. It's like a ghost town. These ruins must be centuries old. Alex nodded, his expression grim. We're walking through history. Let's hope we can use it to our advantage. They reached the entrance to the research facility, a concealed bunker hidden beneath the remnants of an ancient temple. Alex signaled for silence as they descended into the darkened corridors, the only sound the soft hum of their equipment. Inside, the facility was a stark contrast to the ruins above. Sleek, metallic walls and advanced technology hinted at the Xaltraxians' attempts to unlock the secrets of the ancients. "Stay sharp," Alex whispered. "We don't know what we're walking into." They moved through the facility, bypassing security systems and avoiding patrols. In a central chamber, they found rows of consoles and a holographic display flickering with alien symbols. "Jackpot," Sarah muttered, moving to one of the consoles. "Let's see what they're hiding." As Sarah worked to access the data, Jenkins kept watch by the door, his nerves on edge. "Hurry up, Sarah. We won't have much time if they find us." "I'm going as fast as I can," Sarah replied, her fingers flying over the controls. "This isn't exactly user-friendly." Alex joined her, his eyes scanning the holographic display. "What do you see?" Sarah's face lit up as she deciphered the alien script. "It's a repository of ancient technology. Schematics for advanced weaponry, defensive systems, even starship designs. If we can download this, it could turn the tide." "Do it," Alex ordered. "Jenkins, keep an eye on the hallway. We need to know if we've got company." As Sarah began the data transfer, the facility's alarm suddenly blared to life. Jenkins cursed under his breath. "They know we're here." Alex's mind raced. "Sarah, how much longer?" "2 minutes, maybe less," she replied, her voice tense. "Just hold them off." The sound of approaching footsteps echoed through the corridors. Alex and Jenkins took up defensive positions, readying their weapons. "Here they come," Jenkins muttered, his grip tightening on his rifle. Xaltraxian soldiers appeared at the end of the hallway, their weapons raised. "Open fire," Alex shouted, unleashing a volley of shots. The corridor erupted in a fierce firefight. The Xaltraxians, expecting an easy breach, were met with a wall of human defiance. Alex and Jenkins held their ground, buying Sarah the precious time she needed. Almost there, Sarah yelled over the noise, the data transfer bar creeping towards completion. A Xaltraxian warrior charged forward, his weapon blazing. Jenkins took him down with a well-aimed shot, a triumphant grin spreading across his face. "Not today, alien scum." "Transfer complete," Sarah announced, pulling a data drive from the console. "Let's move." Alex nodded, signaling for retreat. "Fall back. We've got what we came for." They made their way back through the facility, the sounds of pursuit close behind. Bursting into the open air, they sprinted towards their extraction point, the weight of the data drive heavy in Sarah's hand. As they reached the rendezvous, a transport swooped down, the doors sliding open. Alex ushered his team inside, the engines roaring to life. "Punch it," Alex ordered, and the transport lifted off, leaving the facility and the pursuing Xaltraxians behind. Inside the transport, Sarah handed the data drive to Alex, a triumphant smile on her face. "We did it. This is going to change everything." Alex nodded, his expression one of grim satisfaction. "We've got the tools now. Let's use them to take the fight to these Xaltraxians and show them what humanity is capable of." The transport hummed with energy as it streaked through the sky, heading back to the human stronghold. Inside, the team gathered around the precious data drive, anticipation and excitement coursing through them. Alex looked at Sarah, who was already connecting the drive to a portable console. "All right, let's see what we've got." Sarah nodded, her fingers flying over the controls. "If this data is as good as it looks, we're about to level the playing field." Jenkins peered over her shoulder, his eyes wide. Come on. Show us something good." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing intricate schematics and alien text. Sarah's eyes lit up. "This is incredible. Advanced energy weapons, shield technology, and even schematics for a type of cloaking device. We can retrofit our existing tech with these upgrades." Alex grinned, a rare expression on his usually stoic face. "Good work, Sarah. This is the break we needed." As the transport landed at the human stronghold, the team was greeted by General Carter, his eyes narrowing as he spotted the data drive. "Mercer, what have you got for me?" Alex handed him the drive. "Intel on advanced Xaltraxian technology. This is going to turn the tide in our favor." General Carter nodded, a rare smile appearing on his grizzled face. "I'll get our techs on it immediately. Good work, all of you." Back in the war room, Sarah briefed the engineers and scientists, her excitement palpable. "We need to start with the energy weapons and shields. Those will give us a major advantage in direct combat." The head engineer, Dr. Patel, nodded in agreement. "We can begin retrofitting our tanks and fighter jets immediately. This could change everything." Over the next few days, the base buzzed with activity. Soldiers trained with new energy rifles, pilots tested advanced shields on their jets, and mechanics worked around the clock to integrate the alien tech into human machinery. Alex and Sarah stood on a balcony overlooking the bustling base. "Feels good to see everyone so motivated," Sarah remarked, leaning against the railing. Alex nodded. "It's a game changer. We've been on the defensive for too long. It's time to take the fight to them." Jenkins approached, a wide grin on his face. "You guys have to see this. The engineers just finished outfitting the first wave of our tanks with the new shields. They're practically indestructible." They headed to the testing grounds where a squad of tanks, gleaming with their new energy shields, was lined up. Dr. Patel stood by, overseeing the final adjustments. "Let's see what these babies can do, Doctor," Patel said, giving a signal. The tanks moved into formation, their shields shimmering. A series of test drones, equipped with simulated Xaltraxian weapons, opened fire. The energy blasts dissipated harmlessly against the shields. "That's what I'm talking about," Jenkins cheered, pumping his fist. Alex clapped Dr. Patel on the shoulder. "Excellent work, Doctor. This will give our ground forces a huge edge." As the testing continued, Alex gathered his team for a strategy meeting. "We're going to hit them where it hurts. Our first target is a Xaltraxian supply depot in Sector 7. It's crucial for their operations in this region." Sarah pulled up a map of the sector. "With our new tech, we can strike hard and fast. Cut off their supplies and we'll cripple their ability to mount an effective defense." Jenkins nodded eagerly. "Let's do it. I'm itching to see the look on their faces when they realize we've got their own tech." The team prepped for the mission, their gear now enhanced with the new alien technology. As they loaded into their transport, Alex addressed them, his voice filled with determination. "This is our chance to show the Xaltraxians that we're not just surviving, we're fighting back. We've been underestimated for too long. Let's make them regret ever setting foot on our planet." The transport lifted off, heading towards Sector 7. As they approached their target, the team readied their weapons, the anticipation building. "Remember, hit hard and fast," Alex instructed. "We take out the depot, then get out before they can regroup." They landed on the outskirts of the depot, the night sky providing cover. Moving with practiced stealth, they approached the perimeter, taking out guards with silent efficiency. Sarah checked her scanner, whispering into her comms. "Depot is just ahead. Minimal resistance detected. Let's move." They breached the depot, their new energy weapons cutting through these Xaltraxian soldiers with ease. Explosions lit up the night as they destroyed key supply caches, the shockwave of their assault reverberating through the enemy ranks. As they made their way back to the transport, Alex couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. "We've shown them what we can do. This is just the beginning." Sarah nodded, a fierce determination in her eyes. "They're going to think twice before underestimating us again." The transport lifted off, the depot burning behind them. The team knew the fight was far from over, but for the first time, they were not just surviving, they were winning. The transport hurtled back to base, the team inside buzzing with adrenaline and the thrill of their successful raid. As they touched down, General Carter was waiting, his stern expression giving way to a rare look of approval. "Outstanding work," Team Carter said, clasping Alex on the shoulder. "You've dealt these Xaltraxians a serious blow. We've intercepted their communications, they're in disarray." Sarah grinned, wiping sweat from her brow. "That's what we like to hear. How's our next move shaping up?" Carter gestured for them to follow. "We need to keep the momentum going. Intel suggests the Xaltraxian High Command is sending their elite warriors to eliminate you, Mercer. They see you as a symbol of human resistance. We need to be ready." As they entered the war room, a holographic display showed these Xaltraxian movements. Carter pointed to a highlighted area. "They're gathering forces here. If we can lure them into a trap, We can take out a significant portion of their elite troops. Jenkins frowned, leaning in to examine the display. Sounds risky. How do we know they'll take the bait? Alex exchanged a knowing look with Sarah. They'll come. They're afraid of what we can do now. We've shown them we're a threat, and they'll want to eliminate that threat as soon as possible. Sarah nodded, her eyes hard. We just need to make sure the trap is set right. We can't afford any mistakes. Preparations began immediately. The base was a flurry of activity as defenses were strengthened and troops were briefed. Alex's team was at the center of it all, coordinating the details of the trap. As night fell, Alex stood on the command post's roof, looking out over the city. Sarah joined him, her face thoughtful. You think they're really scared of us now? Alex nodded, his eyes scanning the horizon. They are. But fear can make them dangerous. We need to stay sharp. A sudden noise interrupted their conversation, an explosion in the distance. Alex's radio crackled to life. Commander Mercer, we've got Xaltraxian scouts probing our defenses. Looks like they're testing the waters, Sarah muttered, drawing her weapon. Time to show them we're ready. The team moved swiftly through the base, joining the skirmish already in progress. Xaltraxian scouts darted in and out of cover, their movements quick and precise. But the humans, armed with their upgraded tech, held the line. Push them back, Alex shouted, firing a volley of energy blasts that tore through the enemy ranks. Jenkins, crouched behind a barricade, took down a Xaltraxian with a precise shot. These new weapons are a game-changer, he said with a grin. They don't stand a chance. The scouts retreated, leaving a few of their fallen behind. As the team regrouped, Alex noticed something peculiar on one of the Xaltraxian bodies, a small device, unlike anything he'd seen before. Sarah, take a look at this, he said, handing her the device. What do you make of it? Sarah examined the device, her brow furrowing. It's a locator beacon. They were tracking our positions. We need to get this to Dr. Patel and see if she can disable it. Back in the lab, Dr. Patel worked quickly, her hands deftly dismantling the beacon. They're using these to gather intel on our movements, she explained. We can use this to feed them false information. Alex nodded, a plan forming in his mind. Perfect. We'll use their own tech against them. Let's plant false data and draw them into our trap. Over the next few hours, the team planted the beacon in a remote location, feeding it data that suggested a high-value target. As dawn broke, they watched from a concealed vantage point, waiting for the Xaltraxians to take the bait. The ground trembled as these Xaltraxian elite forces marched into the trap. Sarah, peering through binoculars, counted the numbers. Looks like their entire elite division. This is it. Alex's voice was calm and steady as he issued commands. All units, hold your positions. Wait for my signal. The Xaltraxians, unaware of the trap, moved deeper into the designated area. Alex watched them closely, his finger hovering over the detonator. Wait, wait. Now he shouted, pressing the button. Explosions ripped through the Xaltraxian ranks, the carefully placed charges decimating their formation. Human forces sprang into action, emerging from hidden positions to engage the disoriented enemy. Jenkins, leading a squad of soldiers, charged forward with a battle cry. For Earth. The battle was fierce and chaotic. The Xaltraxian elite, though formidable, were caught off guard and struggled to regroup. Alex's team fought with relentless determination, their advanced weapons and tactics proving superior. In the midst of the chaos, Alex found himself face-to-face with his Xaltraxian commander. The alien's eyes burned with fury, but there was a glint of fear as well. You should have stayed away from our planet, Alex growled, raising his weapon. The commander snarled, lunging forward. The two clashed in a brutal melee, each strike echoing the intensity of the larger battle around them. Sarah, fighting nearby, glanced over and saw Alex locked in combat. Alex. With a final, decisive blow, Alex brought the Xaltraxian commander to the ground. He stood over the fallen alien, his breathing heavy but triumphant. This is our home, and we will defend it. As the last of these Xaltraxian forces were routed, the battlefield fell silent. Alex's team stood victorious, their resolve stronger than ever. They'd faced the best the enemy had to offer and emerged triumphant. Sarah walked over to Alex, a proud smile on her face. We did it. We actually did it. Alex nodded, his gaze steely as he looked toward the horizon. This is just the beginning. We've shown them what we're capable of. Now, we take the fight to them and finish this war. The sun rose over the battlefield, casting a golden light on the aftermath of the conflict. Alex and his team, bruised but victorious, made their way back to base. The air was thick with the scent of burnt metal and scorched earth, a grim reminder of the struggle they'd endured. General Carter met them at the entrance, his face a mix of relief and pride. Outstanding job, team. You've given us a real shot at winning this war. Sarah, her face streaked with dirt and sweat, nodded. We couldn't have done it without the new tech. It made all the difference. Doctor. Patel stepped forward, her expression serious. We've analyzed the remains of the Xaltraxian commander. His armor and weaponry are more advanced than we've seen before. They're evolving. Alex frowned, looking at the holographic display of the Xaltraxian technology. We need to stay ahead of them. What's our next move? Carter gestured to the map on the table. Our scouts have identified a Xaltraxian command center deep within their territory. It's heavily fortified, but if we can take it out, we'll cripple their operations in this sector. Jenkins, still riding the high of their recent victory, grinned. Sounds like a job for us. When do we leave? Alex clapped Jenkins on the back. Soon. But first, we need to rest and regroup. We've been pushing hard, and we need everyone at their best for this mission. The team dispersed, each member finding a moment of solace in the chaos of war. Alex headed to his quarters, the weight of leadership heavy on his shoulders. As he sat on his bunk, Sarah knocked on the doorframe. Mind if I come in, she asked, her voice soft. Alex nodded, motioning for her to sit. What's on your mind, Sarah? She took a seat beside him, her expression pensive. I was thinking about what Dr. Patel said. The Xaltraxians are evolving, getting stronger. Do you ever worry that we might not be able to keep up? Alex sighed, running a hand through his hair. Of course I worry. But we can't afford to let fear dictate our actions. We've come this far because we've adapted, innovated, and fought like hell. We'll keep doing that. Sarah smiled, a spark of determination in her eyes. You're right. We've faced worse odds before. And we've always found a way. The next morning, the team gathered in the war room, ready for the briefing on their next mission. Carter stood at the head of the table, his demeanor all business. All right, listen up, he began. The Xaltraxian command center is located here. He pointed to a location on the map. It's a fortified bunker with multiple defensive layers. We'll need to hit them hard and fast. Doctor. Patel stepped forward, holding a new device. This is an EMP generator. It will disable their defenses long enough for you to breach the perimeter. But you'll have to get it close enough to be effective. Jenkins whistled. Sounds risky. But we're used to that by now. Alex nodded. We'll take 2 teams. One to plant the EMP, the other to cover and breach. Sarah, you'll lead the breaching team. Jenkins, you're with me on the EMP. Sarah and Jenkins exchanged a determined look. Let's do this, Sarah said, her voice steady. The transport ride to the Xaltraxian command center was tense, each team member focused on the task ahead. As they approached the drop zone, Alex addressed his team. Remember, this isn't just about taking out a command center. It's about sending a message. We're not just fighting for survival, we're fighting for victory. The transport landed, and the teams moved out, their movements swift and silent. The approach to the command center was fraught with danger, Xaltraxian patrols weaving through the dense forest that surrounded the bunker. Jenkins set up the EMP generator, his hands moving with practiced ease. Almost there, he whispered, his eyes scanning the surroundings. Alex kept watch, his weapon at the ready. Hurry up, Jenkins. We've got company. The EMP generator hummed to life, a low thrum that sent a wave of energy through the air. The Xaltraxian defenses flickered and went dark, the bunker's automated turrets falling silent. Now Alex shouted. Sarah, move in. Sarah's team charged forward, breaching the bunker's perimeter with precision. The interior was a maze of corridors and rooms, each filled with Xaltraxian soldiers scrambling to respond to the unexpected assault. Push forward, Sarah commanded, her weapon blazing. We're almost there. Alex and Jenkins joined the fray, their combined forces overwhelming the disoriented Xaltraxians. They fought their way to the command center's heart, where the Xaltraxian commander stood, defiant and unyielding. "You think you can defeat us?" the commander snarled, his eyes filled with hatred. Alex stepped forward, his expression resolute. "We don't just think it, we know it." The battle was fierce, but the outcome was inevitable. The Xaltraxian commander fell, and the command center's systems went dark. The human forces stood victorious, the weight of their triumph settling over them. Sarah looked around, her face a mix of exhaustion and pride. "We did it. We really did it." Alex nodded, a rare smile crossing his face. "This is just the beginning. We've shown them what we're capable of. Now we finish this fight and take back our world." As the team regrouped and prepared to return to base, the dawn of a new era began to rise on the horizon. The Xaltraxians had been dealt a critical blow, and humanity's fight for survival had become a fight for victory.